Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? This is Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom. We are back to break down a monster 14 game slate for today's action. Last game before the All Star break for a ton of teams. We have only 2 games tomorrow, so that could make things a little tricky, especially with injury news. You have to imagine that more guys will be on the side of caution when it comes to injury with the last game before the All-Star break. So keep that in mind today.
Yeah, if anything, it's a good thing. We don't have we can kind of shift our questionable tags to more of a doubtful side. We can kind of, err on the side of caution, like you said.
No, absolutely. Um, got something new for you guys. So before, obviously, as you guys know, I was splitting up the screens with, and we would do FanDuel or DraftKings pricing. I figured why not do both. So got a new layout for you guys. Hopefully you like it. Obviously got the player name, the team, the opponent, their DraftKings position, their FanDuel position, and then their DraftKings pricing and FanDuel pricing so we can see any discrepancies. And then I have the DVP listed out for the team they're playing. So their season, last 5, and last 10 for both sites. So hopefully this makes things just a little more organized. I'm going to send this sheet out to you guys after the show is over. If you want to still break it down just per site, there are the 2 tabs at the bottom here. There's FanDuel and DraftKings. And so that is still there, but this will just make things a lot more organized. And then some other news with the optimal lineups. Again, always improving. So I've been noticing that Excel loves to bring back guys that are in the $3,000 range. And so we're going to kind of limit the amount of times that happens. I'm sure you guys all remember the John Henson, Tim Frazier. It loves to bring back those kind of guys, and I think it's because it really likes to target the upper, the higher side of the projections. And so we're
Yeah,
gonna.
Kyle's bringing it to you tonight, and it's awesome. And so having both of these prices here, I think, is really going to be beneficial to both of us. And we don't have to go back and forth from slate to slate. We can kind of both bring our wheelhouse and have the prices in front. So it's going to benefit the show. It's going to benefit everybody. So I really appreciate you doing this, Kyle.
Yeah, man. I just know,
And
we got some feedback like, oh, how on days you do DraftKings, it's hard because you don't
uh-huh.
talk about FanDuel as much and vice versa. And I'm like, oh. So I was thinking about it for a couple days, and I spent the entire morning trying to figure out the formulas because there's a bunch of if-then formulas and all this because,
Mm-hmm.
when you're, for those of you that are familiar with Excel, when you use VLOOKUP, you only get to pull from one criteria. And obviously, I need to pull from not only the opponent but their position to figure out the DVP. So I had to kind of finagle some formulas around there. But made it happen. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. And as far as you were talking about the optimals, so again, we always say use them as a tool. Find the best way to use the optimals, I mean, if you play them verbatim as at your own risk type thing. And so by fading kind of the lower price guys, it allows you to personally come up with your own value plays. And so you look at these optimals and you say, oh, this is cool. Well, they're coming up with these guys, but I'm going to plug my values in, you know? And so, just like you pick the studs you like, you pick the value plays you like, and I think it'd be kind of interesting to look at what the optimal spit out in the mid range.
I will tell you because I mean we've already sent the sheets out. It definitely favors a balanced lineup today. It didn't return any Westbrook, I don't believe. No Harden. I don't even think it returned
Mm-hmm.
Boogie. So or Jokic. I don't think it returned Jokic either. So when you're looking at the optimals today, like I said, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of the times it was bringing back these guys like John Henson, who is minimum, almost minimum salary, but because of the DVP, the upside was there. But again, this is where Excel doesn't think logically, and this is where I had to step in. You can't trust John Henson's minutes, so to put him on an optimal lineup, it doesn't make sense, and so I made that adjustment. And, Tim Frazier, for example, you can't trust Tim Frazier is going to get his minutes. And for him to return in every lineup, that was irresponsible on my part. So,
Yeah,
definitely.
no, like I said, I think it's gonna be cool going forward. At least today, I'm gonna kind of pick the high price guy that I like the most, and a couple of the value guys that I like the most, and lock them in, and then kind of look at what the optimals brought back for the mid range guys.
Exactly. So, definitely something to look forward to, guys. Like I said, we'll always keep improving. I appreciate the feedback as well.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks
Mike.
for tuning in on this live afternoon show. It's awesome.
Yeah, buddy. We got some people here that can't always make it. Uh, yeah, man. I see I bet a bunch of faces that definitely aren't always here on the night show. So I love doing the morning shows as well. 14 games, Mike. Start with Atlanta.
Jesus.
Atlanta at Los Angeles Clippers. Think you got to look at Dennis Schroeder in this matchup.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the games I'm looking at above the rest. I think Dennis Schroeder and I think Austin Rivers are in good spots today. I mean, I'm not. Most of my evaluation today is not going to come from a cash game perspective. I didn't really look at anybody from a cash game because I'm not going to be playing cash in 14 games. Perhaps in like a shorter slate, but everything I'm looking at is based on tournaments, and I think these guys are both in good spots playing against each other. Schroeder had 40 points last time these two teams played. 40 DraftKings points.
I tend to like Schroeder more than Rivers today.
Or no, Schroeder didn't. Rivers had 40 DraftKings points for last time these two teams played. Now that I look at it, and then if you look at his price, he seems to be somewhat underpriced. I mean, he's averaging 25 DraftKings in his last 5, and again, like I said, he had 41.5 against Atlanta. So,
Okay. Kyle Lowry, Charlotte at Toronto. Toronto's at home. Kind of like targeting Kemba's defense. As you can see here, their DVP is not great. These dark orange colors are never good. So.
yeah, obviously it's a pick and choose slate, and I chose not to pick Kyle for my player pool.
Fair enough. I don't think I have. I'm looking elsewhere from Kyle as well, but the matchup
and
is definitely.
Kemba for that matter.
Yeah, I know. I'm not looking at Kemba either. Surprisingly, because I like targeting Kyle Lowry defense, but I just can't trust Kemba today.
Yeah, I don't know if the upside's going to be there in this game against each other.
Reggie Jackson, Yogi Ferrell. Do we know if Darren Williams is out?
He's listed as probable. I mean, he got ejected last game, so he would have played more minutes. I imagine he's going to play again. I think this game is a solid fade for me today.
Detroit and yet. I'm not going to play anyone from Detroit. The only person I guess you can even look at is Andre Drummond, but
I don't know from a tournament perspective. I mean, the limited number of possessions in this game is going to limit your upside potential.
Exactly.
So,
yeah,
easy fade for me.
There's plenty of other centers on the slate that I'm going to look at than Drummond. Now this is a game that could be nice, Mike. Indiana and Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see here, Jeff Teague. Look at these numbers right here. Over the last 5, Cleveland's allowing 74 DraftKings points a game, and over the last 10, 65.
It's a crazy stat, man. And the thing is, Jeff Teague was a part of that number. I mean, these two teams played maybe like a week ago. They combined for like 250 points, and he had 50 or something. I think he's averaging close to 50 in the 2 games they've played. So again, let's do the one-offs. I mean, would you rather play Teague or Conley?
You know what? I'm going to play Teague today.
I agree. Would you rather play Teague or Rubio?
Still going to go Teague.
Okay, because they're all the same price on DraftKings. All really close. I think 73 to 74 and 75. So that was one thing I was looking at today.
Does it surprise you that Teague is priced lower on FanDuel? That almost makes me think he's a must. I'm not going to say must play on a 14-game slate, but when you look at the DVP in play, he's 7,200 on FanDuel compared to 74.
All right, well then do this. I mean, it's Rubio's 68. against Denver. He has had 40 plus DK points in each of his last 3 games. He had 38 against them earlier this year. And I mean, they give it up to point guards. If you take out last game with Curry.
I don't know. I like Teague's upside more. I think Teague can actually score.
No, that's fair. I think Minnesota is probably in the best spot of any team on this entire slate.
Matchup wise, 100%.
And obviously Rubio gets the big minutes, and DVP doesn't lie. And I think it's definitely worth considering. Teague and Rubio today as one or the other. And I was mentioning this to Kyle earlier today. I highly consider playing multiple lineups if you're deciding to go light, because you could have every player in your lineup get 6 times value today and still not make money, because it's just all about lineup construction. Someone else could have a better lineup where everybody else hits 6 times value.
Actually,
there's that many good plays.
6 times for your lineup would be 360 points on FanDuel. You really think that doesn't cash?
I'm exaggerating.
I was gonna say. I mean, it's incredibly difficult.
You could hit. Let's just put it this way: you could hit on all your picks and still not cash.
That's fair. I think a cash line today is probably going to be around 315, 320.
I don't know. It's kind of going to be all dependent on what the studs do, obviously. But there's enough value today to pay up, obviously, and if 2 or 3 of these studs go off, then the cash line is going to be high.
What about Eric Bledsoe against Los Angeles?
Yeah, he seems to be a clear-cut play on this slate, which somewhat cautions me,
See, here's what I'm
looking at. Really no one else in his price range, and he's going to eat.
Yeah, but see, here's what I'm looking at. Eric Bledsoe, 88. Jeff Teague, 72. To me, that answer's obvious right there.
Yeah, if you're playing based on upside, I think they both can get you the same amount of points, for sure.
I just don't see any reason to play Eric Bledsoe over Jeff Teague today.
No, that's definitely a fair call. I mean, I still think Bledsoe is in play.
No, he is in play, 100%. Miami and Houston. I think Goran Dragic is going to be a solid fade for me, especially at 7,900 on FanDuel. Patrick Beverley, I don't think I'm really looking there. I do like Tyler Johnson, though. Especially on DraftKings at 5,100.
I do too. Again, I don't know if I like his upside as much. Say hi.
But see, Tyler Johnson plays a lot of shooting guard. And if that's the case, and you know what I love about Tyler Johnson? Is Tyler Johnson closes every game for the Heat. And he's on the floor with Dragic. By default is the off ball, which matches him up with the James Harden. And that to me,
I don't know if I could totally agree with you with Waiters being what he's been doing. I don't know that. I feel like Waiters has been their closer almost.
I think Waiters shifts to
perhaps
the 3.
You see all 3.
Yeah, Waiters will typically shift to the 3. James Johnson also closes, and you'll see him at the 4.
See, I don't know if I completely agree with that rotation analysis. I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel like they play all 3 guards. I could be wrong, but I don't think they play all 3 guards at the same time most of the game.
Okay. I still like Tyler Johnson.
So would you rather play Tyler Johnson or Austin Rivers?
I think Austin Rivers is a safer play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I agree. I don't know. I guess for his price, he is safe. I think they're both tournament plays. I think Rivers has the better game and the better matchup.
Here's what I should say. I should clarify. Rivers has safer minutes, I think.
That too, yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Thanks for the love with Sosa. She's my baby. You see her a lot more on these day shows. She's more like looking at me like, why are you doing this? Come on, hang out with me.
Are you looking at Malcolm Brogdon at all? 4,900 on DraftKings, 51 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if he gets his minutes, I don't know if the upside is there, and it's all about if he gets his minutes. If he doesn't get his minutes, then he barely scrapes 20 points.
Yeah, no, it's 100% based on rotation and minutes, but the matchup in itself and the upside, I think, if he gets his minutes, is there.
So we saw Deladova play 28 last game. He only played 21. Rashad Vaughn didn't play at all last game, and he played 30 minutes the game before that. It's just too much of a gamble for me on this slate.
It's fair enough. Do you think you lean more towards safer tournament plays, if that's a such thing?
On big slates, I'm targeting minutes and upside in my tournaments. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Minutes, upside, and matchup. And again, I try to limit multiple players on the same team. I try to find the one guy on each team that's going to go off.
Obviously, you mentioned... Oh, did I just pass him? I think I just did. I did. Ricky Rubio at 6,800. He's 73 on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just mentioned I don't like to play two guys, but I think this is the one team I'm looking at perhaps playing two guys tomorrow or today.
And who would you play? Rubio and Towns?
Probably, yeah. I'm still deciding between Towns and Wiggins, but I'm leaning Towns. But I think Rubio is my favorite out of the three for upside, especially on FanDuel.
On upside, I don't know. I kind of like Wiggins more.
So, I mean, Rubio's upside, what is that? I think 40 points is what I'll be looking for with Rubio, right?
So that's 5.5 times value.
Right. So, I think Wiggins showed us his upside yesterday. I really do. I don't think he's going to get us any more than that. I mean, he played 41 minutes, scored 41 points on 25 shots, which was 55%, and had 3 rebounds and two assists. So he had 41 real life points and 52 DraftKings points. It's like, how much more could he really do?
No, that's fair.
I mean, if he gets you 50, I mean, obviously you're happy. But is he going to go out and get us 50 points from here on out without Levine? Perhaps.
I love what Wiggins has been doing without Levine. I will say that.
Yeah, I just don't know, man. What else can he score 50 points in this game?
Do you have the point total?
That's what I'm thinking.
Do you have the point total?
So, I run my point total projections, obviously. The point total in this game is the highest on the slate.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. I see.
Oh, no, it's the second highest in the slate. Or is it? Actually, no, I don't have the point total. Let me look at that real quick. I'm sure it's come out by now. When I started my research, it was much earlier.
Wasn't available.
226.5, and that is the highest on the slate. Actually, it's tied for the Lakers-Phoenix game.
See, I don't know. The upside is there.
It is, and so like I said, I do my fantasy point projection, So the Minnesota was a plus 16, which is the highest on the slate for any team.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. To me, I would rather stack a Wiggins and Rubio than a Rubio Towns. I don't really want to pay up to Towns on in DFS today. I would rather go Horford. I would rather go Greg Monroe even.
Yeah, no, I think when you compare him to positions, that's why I'm considering Wiggins more, or I'm considering Wiggins as well as Towns.
Okay.
Because the positional scarcity is like kind of leading you to Wiggins, whereas with Towns, he's averaging 58 DraftKings points in the 3 games against Denver this season, which is pretty awesome, Last time they played, he had 32-12 with 7 assists and 4 steals. So 7 assists and 4 steals is somewhat of an outlier in my opinion.
I agree.
Um,
And here's what I worry
he's
about.
locked into big minutes too. I don't know.
Here's what I worry about with Towns. Clearly, he struggles. His weakest part, the weakest part of his game, is his rebounding. Denver is an amazing rebounding team.
Well, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of rebounds to go around, especially defensively with what Denver does field goal percentage wise. So if any game, Towns is going to see an increase in defensive rebound percentage, it's going to be this one. I think you could say that same thing like when you play like teams like the Nets or the Lakers, However, like you said, against other positions, he's $100 less than Jokic. He's $200 more than Davis, which I like him probably more than Davis. But then again, you can pay down at center and probably still find people that have 50-point upside,
I just.
And I would put his upside at like 60 or 65.
I agree, man. I don't know. There's way too many other lower price guys that I'm looking at today. I think a balanced lineup is going to be the way to go today. I really do.
It could be. I'm probably not going to go that way because I've eyeing a lot of value today, so it's going to allow me to pay up. And I think if I'm picking studs, if I'm ranking studs, Towns is probably in the top 3 out of the top 7 guys. This guy's over 10K. I mean, averaging 58 points against Denver in 3 games is enough for me to put him in top 3.
I don't think Towns is in my top 3. I didn't look at him at all today, to be honest with you. When I built preliminary lineups, Towns never crossed my mind as a guy that I need to put in there.
Again, like I said, the average against Denver, I mean, the uptick in pace and, this that one of the highest point totals of the day. I don't know.
Westbrook, Boogie.
I like it.
Westbrook, Boogie, I think are 1-2 for me.
Yeah, I think I'm going Westbrook. Yeah, I think I go Westbrook, Boogie as well. Then Towns, then probably Giannis.
See, I go Giannis over Towns for his upside, I think. I don't think Milwaukee's going to run away with this game. Hell, Brooklyn could even win. And
yeah, I love Giannis today for sure.
So, well, speaking of Russell Westbrook against New York, obviously, we just talked about our favorite guy. Gotta look at him.
Yeah, I think Westbrook over Harden is going to be what people go for all day, and I might go the opposite.
I don't know. I gotta go Westbrook. I can't.
So just looking at what they did last game, Westbrook had 75 DraftKings points, 27, 17, and 14. Harden against Miami had 77 DraftKings points for 40, 12, and 10. So obviously they both there. I think Harden, did it in a very close game. So I think this game has to stay close for him to do that again.
I think this New York game has a better shot of staying close. Okay, so he's terrible.
That's tough. They're favored by 7. Can you believe that?
I don't buy it. I'd take New York on that spread.
Yeah, I think I side with you. I think this probably has a better chance of staying close. But I mean, it's happened before.
They're a bad team. Besides Westbrook, they're a bad team, Mike. They don't have Cantor. I don't know. They're just not a good team.
They're 500 without Cantor, so it's not like they're awful. I mean, I don't know. The Knicks are pretty bad too, man.
I agree. Speaking of that, though, Derrick Rose. I think you got to look at Derrick Rose against OKC. It's going to be a highly paced up game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think this is a Rose over Melo matchup. When you look at upside,
hands down.
And I think I like Rose over Schroeder if you're going there.
Agree with that completely.
$800 price difference too.
Are you looking at Brandon Jennings at all?
If he starts, yeah, give me all Brandon Jennings.
Okay, 4,000 on DraftKings is a really nice price. Isaiah
It is.
Thomas against Philly.
I think I fade him.
I do too. Too many other studs. If I'm gonna pay up, I'm not gonna go to Isaiah today.
If you're playing cash, man, then you got to lock in TJ McConnell. I'm
Against
even
Isaiah,
considering him
yeah.
in tournaments, to be honest.
The upside is there.
I mean,
Do you think? Do you think? Well, Boston's gonna control the pace, obviously, but Boston's pace is very middle of the pack. So I don't know that there's.
yeah.
I don't know that there's extra possessions there for T.J. McConnell. I actually think Philly plays a higher pace than Boston. I could be wrong, but if not, they're right around each other.
Yeah, they're both in the higher end of pace, but they're not like in the top 10 per se.
Yeah.
Um, my projections have them both getting a slight bump in fantasy production, but I don't know. You look at when you look at best matchups on the team, and he's significantly underpriced on DraftKings at 51. He had 17 assists in the last time these two teams played, which is pretty unreal. I mean, there's no Joel Embiid, so I don't see how he gets there again. But I don't know. Let me find McConnell. He took 6 shots in that game. So it's like, what is his upside? I mean, he is averaging 9 field goal attempts in his last 6, so perhaps without Embiid, he is taking some more shots. So I don't know. I think he somewhat is in tournament consideration on this slate. But if you're playing cash, I'll lock him in.
That's fair enough. Are you looking at Dame against Utah?
Um, Definitely going to fade the Portland side. Completely.
What
There's
about
maybe a couple of values you can look at, but
Alan
it's
Crabb?
another one of those games that's pretty easy fade.
Alan Crabb, I think you can look at.
I don't know. I was on him last game. I played him in lineup, and he played big minutes like we projected, and didn't do shit.
Yeah.
So
But if you're looking at minutes, I think they'll be there for Crabb. It's just a matter of if he can produce with those minutes.
yeah, and against Utah, I don't know, man.
I definitely think this game is paced down. I think Utah's the better of the two teams, and I think they'll easily control the pace.
Yeah. So remember how I said I had projected Minnesota for a plus 16? Well, Portland's a minus 21.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So, for example, what I'm saying is like I have a weighted average of how many fantasy points they score, and for Portland, it's probably, I don't have the numbers in front. Actually, yeah, I do. The numbers, they on average in the last 4 weeks they are averaging 216 points, fantasy points for everybody on their team, and this projection has them at a minus 20, 21. So under 200.
Do you look at Tony Parker at all today?
Well, my theory did not work out. I mean, he still played 30 minutes, so
Yeah.
I guess you just gotta have to roll with that's what's gonna happen. I don't really like his upside. Really, the matchup is there.
And then lastly, Steph Curry, Darren Collison, Ty Lawson is already listed as questionable.
Yeah, I doubt Lawson plays with his last game before the All-Star break.
I think you got to look at
I think you
Collison.
look at Curry. I don't think you can look at Collison for his price on DraftKings. Just on this slate, you can't do it. Yesterday, you could because there's nothing
games.
really else there.
Yeah.
But here, when you're really valuing every $100, and I will say Curry, he has played well against against Sacramento this year. But if you're looking at that range, I don't see how you just don't go up to Giannis or down to Bledsoe.
That's fair enough. All right, Atlanta, LAC for shooting guards. I think I fade Tim Hardaway, but I think you can look at Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, I think Redick's in play too.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. didn't start last time these two teams played, so perhaps he's obviously on a hot streak of sorts shooting, so
And you see
it's a good matchup for him.
You see Atlanta over their last 10 has given up more than what they average on the season, and that's a testament to Tim Hardaway.
Exactly. So I think we might see Rivers at the shooting guard position, though. For a lot of this game.
So maybe, you look at Rivers. DeRozan against Charlotte, against Nick Batum. Just got word Wilson Chandler is out today, Mike.
So add him to the list. He is out. Farid is out. Gallinari is out. Arthur is out.
So Barton is a lock.
So Barton is now starting at small forward. It's like,
Moutier is also out. Just ruled.
all right, yeah. So they're missing those 5
people.
guys.
And we're gonna get to this later in the slate, Mike. But Mason Plumlee is 4K on DraftKings.
I know, man. It's very enticing.
I was talking to Theo about this last night. That is, and it's truly a testament to Malone and not knowing what they're going to do with him. That is a prime GPP play. Report just came out right now, and take it for what you will. Malone said, we don't have very many bigs, so he's going to have to get minutes. He'll play with and without Nicola.
Yeah, no, I already thought he would too. I don't need any Michael Malone quotes, man. I should be the coach of that team.
Shit. Here we go.
Anyway, no, I think he's going to get some minutes, man. I think if he gets, let's put his floor minutes at 20.
Yeah, that's fair.
Think that's safe?
That's fair.
You put him in the Darrell Arthur role, or 20 to 24 minutes as a floor. Going up against, I guess, probably at power forward, he probably gets some minutes as power forward and most to the backup center, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say he gets 10 minutes as backup center and 10 minutes as power forward, alongside of Jokic. I think it's pretty safe for him to get 20 points, right?
Oh, I think so easy. I think he hits value at the very least.
I mean, then again, starting sometimes he barely gets to 30.
That's true as well.
I'm gonna go ahead and look up what he has done against Denver this year, starting.
Yeah. Nick Batum against DeRozan. Are you looking there? I think I fade both shooting guards here.
Yeah, again, if I'm playing up, I'm paying a DeRozan over Batum, but I don't know. Maybe people will be off DeRozan. He had a bad game last time out. I don't necessarily think this is a bad matchup for him either.
Wes Matthews, KCP, Seth Curry. I think I fade all 3 of those pretty easily.
Yeah, again, fade in that game. Just to point this out, since we're on the topic, in the one game he played Minnesota, in 29 minutes he's had 33.5 points.
And so you're kind of betting on if he's going to get his minutes.
Right. So if you're betting on 20 minutes, I guess you're betting that's over a point per minute. So I could see it.
I think I don't want to say you're safe, but you can. If he gets 20 minutes, I think you can at least look at a value play. At least look at that 5.
Seems like a safer value play because I imagine other people are gonna take notice.
Yeah, and he's only in play on on DraftKings to me. He's 6K on FanDuel.
Yeah,
that's a safe fade for me. Monte Ellis against Cleveland, Mike. Monte Ellis against Cleveland.
So I broke this down for you guys because I know this has been a common subject of the show. And again, I'm just going to compile the stats and let you guys know and kind of go from there. So let's see here. Where is it at? So now that Lavoy Allen is questionable and Thad Young is out, right? So we saw Serafin played 27 minutes last game. This is last game, right? Mm-hmm. Serafin 27 minutes, 20 DraftKings points. Monta Ellis 30 minutes, 22 DraftKings points. CJ Miles 22 minutes, 11.5 DraftKings points. Rodney Stuckey 21 minutes, 25 DraftKings points. Glenn Robinson 21 minutes, 8 DraftKings points. So that is 3 guys or 5 guys that I think are benefiting in minutes from Thad Young being out. So there's obvious value here, right? There's obvious value here. We've seen game after game one of these people, make some people some money, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the last time that Indiana played Cleveland, it was CJ Miles. He played 30 minutes and had 32.5 DraftKings points. So I don't really think there's any clear-cut play here. I think it's a stab in the dark.
I just think Monte is the safest to get his minutes based on what's been happening the last couple games. That's where I'm looking.
Man, Devin Booker at 72 is tough.
66 on FanDuel though. That's a lot easier to do.
I don't know. I think Lakers give it up to point guards over shooting guards, so I like Bledsoe over Booker in this matchup. I mean, obviously they both can do work, but
So what about
I
Lou
don't
at
know. I mean, you look
61?
at
That's where I'd go. I think it's an easy choice on DraftKings. If you're looking between the two, I think you go Lou over Devin Booker all day. Neither of them do much outside of shooting.
what about Crawford or Reddick or Rivers? I kind of like one of those guys over Lou Williams.
Um, no,
Actually, no, I take that back.
no, I'm gonna
Do you
go.
like?
I'm gonna go Lou
Yeah, I take
over
that
the other
back.
two.
Do you like Lou over Tim Hardaway Jr.?
Yes, I do.
What about on DraftKings? So these three guys are all the same price, pretty much. Waiters, Booker, and Barton.
Waiters.
It's tough for me, man. I'm. It's tough. I mean, I think Waiters is the most consistent. He's got 40 plus in 6 of his last 10. He's got a plus matchup. Um, Booker obviously versus LA. Again, I just mentioned about Bledsoe being probably the guy that gets most points, and then Barton. His price rose $900. What is his price on FanDuel?
Barton. He is 6,400.
64.
That's so
Yeah, so
doable.
that is definitely an easy spot to go. But 73, like I said, you're pricing him with Waiters and Booker, so you got to make that choice.
I will say I like Barton, but I think I go Waiters for 300 less and the plus matchup. I think it's an up-paced game at Houston.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Obviously, we mentioned James Harden against Miami. I think you can look there. I'd rather go Westbrook personally. And I think you'd be crazy to try and fit both of them in.
Yeah, I think so too. I will notice or mention that James Harden is no longer shooting guard eligible in DraftKings,
Yeah, he's the only point
which is
guard now.
interesting.
Giannis, point guard, small forward on DraftKings, and a shooting guard on FanDuel. So take that for what it's worth.
And he plays power forward.
Against Brooklyn, like I said, that's probably my next favorite stud after Boogie and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, I might even say Giannis is my favorite, to be honest with you, just when you consider price, too. I don't know, man. It's hard to trust what Giannis has been doing.
It is, but the matchup's there. He's going to get his minutes. The usage is there.
So Giannis has played Brooklyn 3 times this year. He averages 51.8 DraftKings points.
So you're looking right around 5 times value.
I think I play
A little
Giannis
under.
over Boogie today.
I don't know, man. Boogie,
$500 difference.
yeah, Boogie against Golden State. Boogie is Sacramento, so he has to. If Sacramento wants to have a chance in this game, Boogie has to show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they beat him last time they played.
They did. Sacramento, Golden State doesn't want an 8-game series with Sac. That's probably a 6-game series, and Sac wins in 6. So
I don't know. Some part of me, I don't know what the gut is, but the gut is telling me Giannis over Boogie today.
speaking of that, though, if Denver and Golden State match up in the first series, that'll be probably one of the best series, and
Can you imagine?
that'll be a really fun series. I don't know how long Denver keeps that close, but there's going to be a lot of firepower there.
What I want to play is a team that plays Golden State after if that game goes more than 5 games, if that series goes more than 5 games, I want to be the team that plays Golden State after that series because they are going to be beat to shit, man.
Yeah,
Going back and forth from Denver, playing that style pace, that style game.
true that. Do you look at Sean Kilpatrick today?
No, I think I'm looking at Bogdanovich today.
It's just gonna go there. Just gonna go there. I like Bogdanovich a lot today.
Remember, I said the largest sample you're going to get 3 games. Bogdanovich is averaging 30 points.
Yep. I love targeting their wings, man. Really do. And I think Bogdanovich is a safer player over Kilpatrick. Rashad Vaughn, you mentioned him. I'm gonna fade that.
No, I just factor him in whenever I'm thinking about playing the other guys on the team.
Fair enough. Will Barton talked about. I like that a lot.
Yeah, FanDuel, man, that's kind of a lock.
6,400. He'll be chalky again today. Even on a 14-game slate, Will Barton's going to be chalky with all these Denver players out. I have no doubt. Tyreek, nah, I'm going to fade. You can look at Tony Allen, I guess, but I'm not really going to go there. Oladipo against New York, I think you have to look at that, but at 6,000, I'll just pay up to Will Barton.
Right.
Where are we at? Marcus Smart against Philly. Again, 5,800. I'll pay the 600 to get up to Will Barton.
Agree.
C.J. McCollum against Utah. That's a fade for me. Alan Crabb, we talked about that. The minutes will probably be there, but can he produce? Going to be a paced down game for Portland. Not really a fan of it. Evan Fournier against San Antonio, though. That is one that I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think I could look at that as well. Again, he is in the same price range as Hardaway Jr. and Lou Williams on DraftKings. So,
and
then I guess you could put Oladipo in there as well. He's actually $500 cheaper than Tim Hardaway Jr. Or no, that's wrong. No, he's not. He's only $100 cheaper.
I think a lot rests on if Terrence Ross plays as well. If Terrence Ross doesn't play, Orlando's down Ross and Ibaka. I think you see a lot of Aaron Gordon at the 4.
Yeah.
Which puts him in play as well, but Evan Fournier even more so. I think Evan Fournier has to play minutes today, if that's the case.
Yeah, I like him on FanDuel especially.
5,500, yeah. And then lastly, Klay Thompson against Sacramento is a really, really good play. 6,900 though. I'll pay down to Will Barton.
I think I'd rather play Klay than Booker.
Oh, 100%. Agree with that completely. What about Klay
Save some money.
Klay over Barton though?
So you're saving $800. It's all gonna be about lineup construction. I think they.
And it's completely dependent on site. On DraftKings, Klay is cheaper than Barton by 800. On FanDuel, he's more expensive by 500.
Yeah, so it's all going to come down to lineup construction. Just limit your player pool based on what upside they can bring for their price and try and get the best you can.
Kent Bazemore against LA is in play for me.
5K, I don't know how much I like that. Where are we at? Small forward now?
Kid Gilchrist against Toronto, I think.
I will say I think I'd rather play Bazemore than Kid Gilchrist.
I agree with that, and I think I fade Kid Gilchrist today. Damari Carroll, the minutes are going to be there, but the upside is limited.
Yeah, I'd rather play Kid Gilchrist over Damari Carroll.
LeBron against Indiana, I believe that's a nationally televised game.
Perhaps. If I'm playing cash, this is the stud I want, I think.
FanDuel's 11-3, though. That's hard. I'd rather go Giannis.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
I'll go Giannis. Paul George is in play, though. LeBron gives it up to small forwards right now.
So Paul George and Andrew Wiggins are the same price on DraftKings. And then you have Kawhi, which is significantly underpriced at $8,900 in a good matchup against Orlando. So this is probably the toughest thing. That whole Teague, Rubio, Conley situation, and then this Wiggins, George, Kawhi situation. I think the two biggest things that are bugging me about this slate. I'm thinking I'm dropping George out. I think I go Kawhi or Wiggins.
I agree with that.
What's Kawhi's price on FanDuel?
99. No, thank you.
Yeah, so I guess Wiggins is the clear play on FanDuel. But on DraftKings, Kawhi's only $100 more at 89. I mean, he's got a 40-point floor. I mean, his matchup is a bottom 10 DVP matchup. He's got 60-point upside, which I really don't think Wiggins possesses 60-point upside.
And here's why I like Wiggins with no Chandler. Barton shifts to the 3, and Barton was the guy that we targeted in the beginning of the year when we played against Denver shooting guards. And
Yeah, I think you can easily target both sides of this matchup.
And look at the reflection here, Mike. Over their last 5 and last 10, when Gallo's been out, look at this DVP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
unreal. No, I think you can say the same thing about. We'll go to Minnesota's DVP against small forwards in the last 5 and last 10 since Levine's been out. I think
49.
It's this. Yeah, I think. But comparison to what they've done over the season, it's like. I think Minnesota's been worse defensively as well. So I think you can target both sides of this matchup. Again, it's just. I don't know. For $1,000 more, I think I'd rather play Kawhi Leonard than Wiggins.
You can have your Kawhi. I'll stick with my Wiggins.
On FanDuel, I mean, it's super easy.
Yeah. On DraftKings, I'm still sticking with Wiggins. We skipped over Michael Beasley, though, and Bogdanovich this whole game. Obviously, we like Bogdanovich, right?
Although yeah, 4,400.
Does this surprise you at all? Milwaukee's, over their last 5, is allowing 30 a game?
Just could be the people they've played, you know. I know the Lakers were in there.
With Jabari out as well. So maybe a shift.
The Lakers are in there. You know, Detroit's in there. I don't know.
I still target them, but it's just something to look at. Something to watch.
Well, Middleton will play today. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about Beasley. 5,500. I mean, he's a points per minute monster. If he gets the minutes, he's going to crush that salary. The fact that we're both really high on Giannis, though, somewhat limits me
to Beasley
paying 5,500 for Beasley. You know, because he could easily not play and have 6 points.
It's easier on FanDuel at 49.
Right.
Hollis
Jefferson.
Hollis Jefferson is in play for sure.
Yeah, Booker is listed as questionable. If Booker's out, I don't think this really projects as a Justin Hamilton game. And Quincy Acee is also ruled out. I don't know. I just feel like, what are they going to do? Like, who are they going to put Hamilton on? You know. I think this profile is more as a Hollis Jefferson game.
I agree with you completely. If Booker is out, which I lean more towards him being out. I don't see why you play him on a bad knee the last game before the All-Star break. Give him a week to rest. Hollis Jefferson gets heavy minutes today, and I like. Well,
that. They do play a lot of Lopez and Hamilton together. I've watched it. They do that a lot from time to time, but I don't know that this is the game. This is the game that they do that. I think Hamilton kind of gets lost on the floor here.
I like Hollis Jefferson more than Hamilton today.
Oh, absolutely. I would never play Hamilton. It's something I think about when I'm factoring in if I'm going to play Hollis Jefferson.
Whether Hollis Jefferson's going to get the run. I got you. And at 4,000 on DraftKings, that's very doable. He's more expensive than Bogdanovich on FanDuel, but I can play both, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of both, I think, today, just based on whatever I can get, whatever I can fit in my lineup.
Here's what I will say.
Bogdanovich,
yeah, you can play both on DraftKings. On FanDuel, you can't. I don't think you put both of them as your starting small forwards.
Oh, I don't think you play both of them either way. I don't think both of them are going to go off.
Gotcha. You know? I see. You're picking one or the other in different lineups. I got you. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins, we talked about. Gallo's out. Chandler's out. Shabazz Muhammad could be in play. Vince Carter against New Orleans. Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, I think I'd target the Brooklyn Wings over the Memphis Wings. Obviously, they're in a good matchup as well, but...
I agree. I'm going to go Bogdanovich.
It's a similar situation. They both get, limited minutes and can hit value type thing.
Bello, I think it's an easy fade for me today. 8,200, I'll take Wiggins.
Yeah, again. 76.
Again, you can go Wiggins.
14. I almost said 17 game slate. Seems like it.
Really, though. Andre Roberson.
No,
that's a risky punt. He had a grand total of 0 points.
Yeah, played 30 minutes. 0 points.
Covington against Boston. No, thank you. Jay Crowder, I'm going to fade that as well. Jaylen Brown's a no. I don't even think he's playing. Gordon Hayward against Portland. I mean, he's the only guy in Utah other than Rudy Gobert, but we'll get to him. I don't know. I don't think 7,700. I'll just pay up for Wiggins.
Yeah, exactly.
Kawhi Leonard, you talked about. I'm gonna everyone was already waiting for Jaylen Brown. I skipped him. Don't worry.
Now, if there is no Terrence Ross today, what are your thoughts on Jeff Green? I imagine he'll get bulk of the minutes at small forward. You imagine, but who knows? We've seen 35 minutes from Hazonia this past week, so.
Again, if Ross is out, it just makes me like Fournier more.
Yeah, I'm just saying, 37 minimum salary on FanDuel. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I get cute today. Not on this slate.
Kind of like Matt Barnes.
I do like Matt Barnes as well. That price hasn't changed. 51.
In his last 6 games, he's averaging over 30 minutes and over 30 DraftKings points. He had 37.5 versus Golden State.
Yeah. Blake Griffin against Atlanta. That's a really, really good game for him. I like that. 9,800 is tough, but Blake Griffin's been consistent as hell, man.
Yeah, he's another one that I'm trying to lock in today. 50 plus in 6 of his last 7. Back home, and his assist numbers have been up. He's averaging almost 2 more assists per game since he's been back without Chris Paul. And that's really elevated his ceiling.
Someone, Dre just mentioned, Wiggins is not a lock. Hayward will outscore him tonight.
Sounds like one of my propositions.
I don't think I can get on board with that, Mike.
The numbers will not agree with you, Dre. But we always say, trust your gut. We're not going to talk you off the picks, man.
I'm not going to talk you off your pick for sure, but
all the numbers we're presenting do not agree with you.
But be sure to come back and let me know. Like, I'll be happy to see you next show and we'll discuss it.
Damn right.
Just like Mike, ate his crow with Kaminsky.
Yes, I did.
Oh, also, I got to give Ant a shout out. He told me that Towns would outscore Boogie yesterday. He said Boogie wouldn't get more than 40 and Towns would go for 60.
Ooh. Again, that's another one of my propositions, going against Boogie.
I said Boogie would get a minimum of 60 points yesterday. The matchup is way too good. I thought you were crazy if you tried to fade Boogie yesterday. I didn't fade him on either side in any lineup.
Yeah, no, me either.
I didn't care. You could have made Boogie 60,000, and I would have paid for him.
Oh, actually, no, I did fade Boogie in a lineup, and I cashed. So, I did cash that Boogie yesterday.
Bold move.
And if you want proof, I will show you.
Serge, I don't know if he's going to play. If he does, I like the matchup. But I don't think you can...
I'm looking more if Serge doesn't play. If Serge doesn't play, I'm really liking Marvin Williams at that price.
I agree.
Because Frank Kaminsky is definitely in play. I mean, he's the only guy. Both Zeller and Miles Plumlee are out, so he's going to be locked in to 40 minutes today, and that means Marvin Williams is going to be locked in as well to big minutes. And obviously Toronto, Toronto power forward.
Yeah.
He had 30 points last time he played this team.
It's going to be your last chance.
And probably much less minutes.
Last chance to cash on that Toronto power forward situation.
And I think everyone's going to kind of be on Frank, and so that's my pivot is Marv.
I love Marv. I think he actually returned in a couple of optimals.
Frank and Marv, man.
Dirk, I'm going to fade that. Although, actually, Dirk would be the only one I look at. I love playing against Drummond. 5,500 on DraftKings, 58 on FanDuel. I like him more on DraftKings, but
I think if I'm looking at anybody on Dallas, I think I'm going to go Harrison Barnes because he's really, really cheap.
Fair enough. I like Dirk more, but to each his own. Kevin Love's out, obviously. You got to look at Channing Frye, but 5,000. I don't know if I go there again, Mike.
Fade.
Yeah, I don't know if I go there.
I think we saw Frye hit his ceiling too. I mean, I don't think he's going to play 35 minutes again. I don't see him double-doubling. I mean, yeah, I guess he's somewhat of a good rebounder, but I don't know. I'm feeling fading him for Tristan Thompson on DraftKings. 5,500 for Tristan Thompson. I'd rather play him over Fry at 5K.
By the way, Thompson had a nice game yesterday, I believe. I believe he beat his projection. I thought he would have a good game against Towns, and I believe he scored over 30 points, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, his rebounding numbers are going to increase without Kevin Love. And that's what he is. And if he gets his putbacks, he's going to crush value, like I said.
It's always good for his
just
putbacks and rebounds, but yeah.
500. Yeah, but he's very good at it. And 5K for Fry and 5,500 for Tristan Thompson. I think that's an easy pick.
Do you look at Derek Williams at all? I don't think I get too cute on this slate again. Julius
I think
Randle.
people are going to be on Derek Williams, and I don't really get why. The dude, Miami had like 7 guys on their team, and they let him go. So.
Julius Randle, Larry Nance against Phoenix. Love targeting their power forwards.
No, I've never been a Julius Randle fan. I'm not going to start today.
I go Larry Nance over Randle if I pick between the two.
Agree.
But Larry Nance it's a good price point. I could do it. Marquise Chris, I can do as well. And maybe Alex Len.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alex Len is a sneaky play for me today. I think this matchup suits him for some extra run. And we saw it last time these two teams played. He had 30-plus minutes. And it wasn't because Tyson Chandler was out. Tyson Chandler started the game.
Yeah.
Wasn't in foul trouble either. Len just got the extra run. And for that reason, I'm fading Chris and Tyson Chandler, and I'm hesitant about playing Len. I might play him in like one lineup, but
he's no lock. Sure. He's no lock.
Yeah, when you got Mason Plumlee at 4K and everybody going there,
it's an easy pivot.
Somewhat sneaky to me.
Well, I wouldn't say easy pivot. I shouldn't say that. But you can look there.
Yeah, this matchup just seems to favor his play.
I think you can look at James Johnson as well, man. Again, the up-paced game.
I'm waiting for his price to go down with Waiters back. His usage takes about a 5% hit,
it does.
I'm going to wait.
I still think you can look at it. Where we at? Trevor Booker, we talked about. I don't think he plays today. You guys can have all the Thon you want. I don't know why
Dude, I'm about to make a lineup with all weird names. I'm going to have Thon, Frank, and Marvin. And then I'll probably throw in some Wancho, too.
But see, that's actually the one good play I can get behind.
Some Wancho?
Yeah. With all these Denver guys out?
4,600, man.
It's tough.
Oh,
you don't know what you're going to get, but... All right, here's one that... Man, it's tough for me to fade this. Jokic. 11K on FanDuel, 10-3 on DraftKings. That matchup is amazing, Mike. He can really...
Yeah, I think...
He can eat versus Minnesota. He really can.
I think you could start a lineup today. Even though it's a 14-game slate, I think you could start a lineup with Rubio, Wiggins, and Jokic. Now, with Plumlee coming back, do you think that eats into his minutes at all?
I would say that's stupid of Mike Malone to do, but that would be
I think going forward, possibly, but probably not today.
Man, I really hope not, man. I love seeing this guy play his 35 minutes a game.
Again, I don't understand why they did this. Why would they limit Jokic's
upside
season, man?
Yeah, they're kind of capping his potential almost. If that's what they end up doing with Plumlee. It doesn't. The trade doesn't make sense at all. Either you're acquiring Plumlee for a rental, for something that you're not going anywhere. You're possibly limiting Jokic's potential, or you acquired Plumlee to not play him.
Right. I mean, so he's on a nice contract. I will say that he's on a nice contract. He's actually a restricted free agent. So there's a team option on him. They can sign him again next year for like $3.5 million. So he's somewhat of a rental. They could let him go if they want him to, meaning that they maybe picked him up just because they wanted to try and make the playoffs. But again, like you said, I don't see why they did this unless they were really trying to push the playoffs and add some depth in the front court.
think even on a 15-game slate, though, I think you can look at a game to stack. And not by, I don't think you do a full stack, but you can definitely look at, I should say, players from a specific game to target. How about that? This game has a bunch of
Right.
good matchups, and it has a really good point total. It has a good fantasy projection total. So,
The numbers that I have in front of me that are so the teams that it's saying to look at are Milwaukee, um, Cleveland, Miami, LA and Phoenix, Minnesota, and those are like the top five.
I think you can look at a small Sacramento stack as well with Collison and Boogie, or Barnes.
Yeah, because they're locked in the minutes.
Yeah. Wancho, you talked about. He's only 4,000 on FanDuel. I think that puts him in play for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna pray that it's a trap and not get sucked in, and then he'll go out and score 50 again.
He was in the winning GPP. All three of my GPPs.
I mean, he scored like 50 points
45.
at $3.5 grand.
Anthony Davis, I think that's an easy fade for me today.
Agree. Yeah.
Zach Randolph, I can get behind though. 6,000 is a little tough. I like him better on DraftKings at 53.
Yeah. I guess I just glossed over him.
I can get behind that.
I guess so.
Kristaps I like as well. I don't think there's anyone in OKC that's going to cover him.
Yeah, no, I like Kristaps. I like his price on DraftKings. I think his 40-point games are becoming more of a thing as of late, and he's getting 30 minutes, so I think it's a nice place for him.
Let me ask you this: long term. Don't get sucked into what's happening right now. Better player, Jokic or Porzingis?
Jokic.
Agree. Jokic is a much better passer.
Kristaps is still until Kristaps can put his back to the basket.
I was just gonna say, yep. Jokic's post game is so much better.
No one's gonna respect his post game.
He just shoots threes all game right now.
Well, he's a face-up player, and so in that sense, his pump fake works, his shot fake works, and he can get by people and get to the rim. But as far as posting people up back to the basket, he doesn't really have the hook move or all it is a fadeaway. There's really no.
Yep.
Unless you can develop that.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, unless you can. Yeah, I agree with you. I still think Jokic is the better player long term. Ilyasova against Boston.
So I think Ilyasova is sneaky today. I really do, because with Saric putting together 3 straight games, it's cut into Ilyasova's minutes, and that's why his price has dropped, right? Come on. Sorry. His price has dropped because, Saric has been getting the minutes because he's been taking shots and making them, and his confidence is up, and Brett Brown's just been kind of letting him go.
Letting him do his thing, yeah.
Yeah, but say the shots aren't falling today, I mean, we know what Ilyasova's upside is. If he gets his minutes back, he's in a great matchup.
I think everyone's going to be on Saric.
Exactly, and that's why I'm easily going to play Ilyasova at a depressed price and a good matchup, with considerably better upside. I don't know. Am I missing something?
No, I agree with you. I mean, on FanDuel,
unless he's got a nagging
cheaper.
injury, unless he's got a nagging injury, that's like the reason why Saric is getting extra run, that we don't know about.
I'm going to, again, fade this Portland-Utah game. LaMarcus Aldridge against Orlando, though. If Aaron Gordon is playing the 4 mic, Aldridge could be a really nice play.
6,300 is very enticing.
That's what I'm saying.
Obviously the minutes are there, the usage is there, his rebounding is there. He's got to make shots. I think he's kind of locked in for 35 points. If he makes shots, he could get you 45. That's where I look at it.
I think I like Aldridge today. Could do a lot.
I don't know about 73 on FanDuel.
No, more DraftKings play for sure. But Tolliver against Golden State. Do you look there? This might be.
Yeah, I'm looking Cauley Stein over Tolliver.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be a more Cauley Stein game. And then Draymond, you have to look at. Draymond against Sacramento is a good matchup.
Yeah, I agree. So would you rather play Ilyasova or not Aldridge or Draymond on FanDuel?
On FanDuel, Draymond.
Yeah.
All right, centers: Atlanta and LA. Dwight against DeAndre. DeAndre's price has dropped a lot. 6,700 on DraftKings.
Still too much, in my opinion. I like Dwight in this game. He's coming off a great game. He had 40 last time he played. DeAndre Jordan. Clippers are giving up a lot of points to centers over the last 10. Yeah, I think Dwight is going to be in at least one lineup today for me.
I like Dwight a lot. And that DVP is nice as well. Jonas against Charlotte.
If he was getting 30 minutes, I would consider him almost every slate, but he just doesn't, man.
Drummond against Dallas, like I mentioned. I think I said the 8,600 is way too much for me.
Right.
Miles Turner against Cleveland, though, 6,400. That is a price I can get behind.
I still think I'd rather play Tristan Thompson.
Fair enough. Chandler against LA. Man, I think you got to look there, dude.
Again, the fact that I saw that Len played 30 minutes and Chandler only played 22 last time these two teams played. I mean, obviously, Earl Watson's minutes are not something to take, as law, and think it's the exact same thing's going to happen again. But I don't know. I feel like Tyson Chandler's minutes have been somewhat limited as of late. If you look at the last 5 games, he really hasn't been getting to 30 minutes very often. He's averaging 21 minutes over the last 5 games, so 21 minutes a game.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I don't know. If he was locked into 30, I think he's in play. But if you get 20, I'd be pissed.
So same price, Clint Capella.
Easy. Yeah, I don't think I look at either.
Really, you don't like Clint
Capella? I'm not looking at either. I don't really look at either. I don't think.
Why is that? Why don't you look at Capella?
I guess for his upside.
Hassan Whiteside doesn't play defense. He barely gets back.
No, I know.
I love Capella today. 5,200.
Yeah, I guess. So, would you rather play? See, I guess on FanDuel it's a lot easier.
That's where I'm looking at. DraftKings, I'm not looking at Capella.
There's a lot of people at that price at 5,700. I could drop $300 and play Greg Monroe against Brooklyn.
I would do that as well, but on FanDuel, Greg Monroe's 65 and Capella's 52.
Yeah, so definitely someone in play. You said Whiteside defense.
Whiteside half the time doesn't even get back on defense. Watch.
Yeah.
I
know, especially in this Houston game.
Yeah, man, and you talked about him, playing defense on himself. I love that. Yeah. That was a good quote.
He gets distracted. He distracts himself.
I like Capella a lot today. I think he'll be in one of my lines.
Who else is around his price on FanDuel?
Let's see.
I guess he said Tyson Chandler.
I
imagine Tristan Thompson.
Willie Gomez is 57. He's starting today.
Yeah, Capella over Gomez.
That's about it, man. There's no one. I mean, there's
Frank Kaminsky.
Well, on FanDuel, he's a power forward.
True. Yeah, I guess he's really the only one in that price range that you can look at.
Yeah, there's really not anyone else other than Tyson Chandler. That is it. Well, Jonas at 59.
Yeah, I played Capella over Jonas.
And yeah, dude, Capella at that price point, I think he's the only center you really look at.
Right, but then again, that cautions me in tournaments, the fact that there's really nobody else around him in price.
For sure. We talked about Monroe. I don't know if I play him on FanDuel 6,500. I'll pay up for Horford at that price. Safer minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Monroe and Henson are both in play. Who knows? Gets Brooklyn.
You mentioned Henson on the show, Mike. You're gonna people are just gonna leave.
Hey, man, he went to Carolina. Got to say something about him. The Duke fan played Henson, man. Should have been a sign.
You like Karl Anthony Towns, obviously, at 10-4. I think that's a fade for me. Mason Plumlee on DraftKings, 4K, like we mentioned. That is a juicy price. I don't know how much upside he has, but safe floor I think you can look at. Hopefully at least 20 points. Marc Gasol.
The more I think about it, the more I'm liking Jokic over Towns. I think you can perhaps get both on DraftKings, but overall.
Oh, I agree completely. For 600 more, you get Jokic.
Well, it's only $100 more on DraftKings.
Oh, then yeah.
For Jokic.
Yeah. Marc Gasol against New Orleans, Mike. I can go there. It's more DraftKings 7,500, but he's not going to be high owned at all today with all these other centers on the slate.
Yeah, Marc Gasol fucked around, had a triple-double last time they played New Orleans, man. So, Conley was out that game, so obviously it's not going to happen again, but
he's going to be low owned.
I love his upside at that price, 7,500, man. Even 84, you got to look at him.
I agree. Steven Adams against New York, I think you definitely have to look there. 6,100, I guess you can kind of... Well, he's more... 59 on DraftKings. Capella was 57. I think I like Adams over Capella on DraftKings.
Oh, yeah, same.
Embiid's out, obviously. Horford, I mentioned that. Horford's 6,800. I'll pay that over Greg Monroe. He's 6,800 on both sides. I love.
What about Dwight?
Who?
Horford or Dwight?
On DraftKings?
Mm-hmm.
$300 difference. I go Horford.
I think I'm gonna have a bunch of Dwight, Horford, and Gasol today. I think those are my three guys, and then I want Monroe at least once. Again, I'm making a bunch of lineups today because I think you have to. I think if you just like, oh, this is my favorite lineup, this is going to be the one, like I said, it could work out for you and you still couldn't cash, so you just got to make a few and just to, because you never know, because so many people that could go off.
I love Horford today, man. Kelly Olynyk I like as well, Mike. I really do. I think this profiles is a Kelly Olynyk game.
Yeah, I agree with you. And he's been killing it lately. I don't think that's going to be sneaky, but on a 14-game slate, let's look at the other value players at that price. You have O'Quinn. I like Olynyk over O'Quinn, I think.
100%.
Bogdanovich is $100 more.
Do you think Okafor plays much tonight? He's back with the team, but I don't know, man.
They say he's backing up Noel.
Yeah.
He'll play. Can you imagine if you were Okafor, though? Like,
what do you do with... Yeah, I don't know, dude.
You didn't go on the road trip, and then you just kind of like...
Hey, guys, I'm back.
Hey, yeah. What's going on, guys? I guess my team sucks at finding other teams for me. No one wants to pick me in gym class.
I was going to say... It's almost like that kid that just follows around, you know what I mean? Like, no one wants him.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I hate it, because Okafor... God, man, give him if he gets on a team where he has a chance, he's going to... Telling you, man.
Should have stayed at Duke. He had a chance there.
He can be a solid play in this league. He really can.
So, yeah, like I was saying, other players around that price range for Olynyk as a value. Then you look at Bogdanovich at 4,400. Nance is 42 at power forward as well. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson's at 4K at power forward. So, again, you guys got to pick the value plays you'll like. There's going to be a lot of good spots today at value, and so I think picking the right value plays, the ones that you can get behind as far as a game script and matchup perspective, I think you just run with it.
Mike, there's a question for you on the chat. Mike talks about making a lot of lineups. Will he have a core group or straight diversify?
Yeah, so most of the time what I do when I make my lineups as far as having a bunch of lineups, I lock in. I have, I probably narrow my stud down to one or two. and perhaps 3. And I'll lock in my 2 favorite studs, and then I'll lock in 2 or 3 favorite value plays that I have on almost every lineup. And then the rest of my lineup, I kind of go to, like I said, I wanted Wiggins some, I wanted Kawhi some, I wanted Rubio some, I wanted Teague some, I wanted Rivers some, I wanted Lou Williams some. It's like I have like these players I can't decide between each one. Or even I said Bogdanovich or Ronda Hollis Jefferson. It's like people I both I think are in a good spot at the same price point, and then I'll fix them around. But it's important to find people at the same price point so that you can have a core. You can't really have a core if you're just. Does that make sense? If you
100%.
like I said,
I think
yeah,
I think
like
the
I,
better approach. Sorry, not to interrupt. I think the better approach is to build a player pool, and
right.
instead of a core, I think you build when you're building this many lineups, and you want to diversify. I think you have a player pool that you pull from, as opposed to sticking to 3 or 4 guys or 5 guys
Yeah,
that
I
you
think
lock in every
that's a
lineup.
general approach, but I mean like creating a player pool today is almost impossible. And I mean, like I narrowed it down, and I still have about 8 to 10 people per position, and that is not a player pool in my opinion. I think you got to get it to 4 or 5. So I think my approach today again is going to be finding my 2 or 3 favorite value plays, my 2 or 3 favorite studs, starting there, and then like I said, Teague and Rubio are the same price. Um, Wiggins and Paul George are the same price. They're easy pivots. You can build the same lineup with different guys because of the same price.
It's fair. I mentioned Rudy Gobert against Portland. That's the one guy in Utah I really like.
Agree. Yeah, I think again, when you consider tournaments, limited possessions, limited upside.
Yeah, but who's going to guard Gobert on Portland?
I know. I'm just saying. You're hoping that he gets you 50, right? 40 to 50. It could happen.
I think 40
I
is
think I'd
well
still
in
rather
play.
play who Gobert.
Yeah, 40 is in play for Gobert.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I guess you throw him. He's only 100. He's $100 cheaper than Gasol on DraftKings. So it's like, and he's $200 or he's $300 more than Dwight.
I like Dwight more, but man, dude.
You go Gobert over Gasol.
No, not on DraftKings. On FanDuel, it's $700 difference.
Yeah, I can see that.
But damn, man, I just when I'm thinking about the game, is Myers Leonard gonna start again? I mean, Myers Leonard has no chance. Jake Layman's up. Um, Ed Davis
Davis,
doesn't play. Ed Davis doesn't play.
he's a better player. He consistently outperformed, not consistently, considerably outperformed Myers Leonard last game.
Yeah, but they don't play him enough. I think, and
I mean,
I
they
guess,
will if he plays better.
yeah, but Portland is obviously not playing for this year, right? That's obvious. So
I guess so.
so wouldn't you, I guess it makes sense that they want to play Layman and Leonard to see what they have in them. They have 3 first-round draft picks. They got to know where to spend them on. Ed Davis, you know what you have with him.
Yeah, this is true. Either way, on this day, and you got to factor Nurkic in as well, right? So today, just avoid the whole situation.
I don't know. I might have a
Against
lineup with
Gobert,
Gobert.
man.
Oh, Portland.
Against Gobert, yeah.
No, I'm not looking at anyone on Portland. I'm talking about who's going to
Oh,
guard Gobert and why I like him.
yeah. I do. I would rather see Ed Davis on Gobert than Myers Leonard. Myers Leonard is somewhat of a pesty defender.
Don't tell Theo that.
I mean, Theo watches more Blazers than I do, but I don't know. I've seen some games where I feel like he's trying too hard to defend. Sometimes.
Okay, and then Vucevic against San Antonio. I think I fade that. Deadman against Orlando. Maybe. I don't know if I could go there today.
No.
And then Boogie. Boogie. What can you say about Boogie?
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna. I think I'm still gonna go Giannis over Boogie.
If this game
Giannis
remains
over Boogie, Jokic over Towns.
if this game remains close at all, Boogie's gonna have another 60-point game.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
I think he's got a better chance to.
yeah. God, that was a lot of games.
Certainly was. I'm excited to build some lineups now that we talked about it, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of building lineups, I will go ahead and throw these contests up right when we're done here. We'll also get that pro panel together.
Yeah, we still got to get that in there.
And I'm working on today's Vegas lines sheet with all of the projections as far as point totals and if you're not a pro subscriber, it has all the Vegas lines on there, and I do include like pace differential and what the score was in the last matchup and things like that. So look forward to that.
Yeah, guys, a lot to look forward to. I'm gonna email this sheet out that I have right here. It might help you guys a little more than the one I emailed out earlier. It doesn't have all the projections and everything on it, but I will email it out to you guys as another tool to use. I think it'll be nice to have the DVP. You can kind of replace this with the DVP sheet. Is how I look at it. So going forward, I won't email out the DVP sheet. I'll email out this instead.
Right.
Because it'll have all the players and what their DVP is. I think it's a lot more organized. So thank you guys for tuning in. We had a ton of people with us today, Mike. Over 80. So,
really?
Yeah, over 80 at one time.
Hell yeah.
So
again, we're trying to get these afternoon shows in every once in a while for people that can't make it. So
yeah.
All feedback's good feedback. So let us know.
Yep. And then any questions, we'll be in that Slack group, man. I'm telling you. That is the place to be.
I think today, we've seen some questions about what contest to enter, how much money to spend, how to build your lineups, what slates to look at. So questions like that, that we don't really discuss on the show. If you're one of the pro subscribers, message one or Kyle and I in the Slack group, do a direct message, and we'll get back to you in that way.
Yeah, Slack is the place to be, man. If you're a pro subscriber and you're not in it, hit me up, hit Mike up, Josh, JC, any of the guys. We'll get you in that Slack group. It's crazy. It's really
Popping off.
Yeah, it really is, man. That's the first thing people ask for when they sign up. So
might as well build your lineups with hundreds of other people, instead of just by yourself listening to Kyle and I.
Yeah, there's a lot of other good opinions in there. So, all right, guys, we will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in again.